So I've heard some people say that Panera is just overpriced hospital cafeteria food. And while I can respect that opinion, I actually have always really liked Panera. The problem is that I don't have one near me. And also I have found that the quality of food at Panera has honestly gone down over the last several years while the prices have continued to rise. And so I thought it would be fun today to make some copycat Panera recipes at home. And I'm telling you, these are just as good as you're going to get at the restaurant and for even cheaper. So today we are going to make some copycat Panera mac and cheese that turned out super delicious. Of course, the classic Napa almond chicken salad sandwich. I'm also making the Panera Thai chicken salad, which they actually discontinued. This recipe is delicious and I think it's even better than the one in the store. I'm also making a Panera bread egg souffle recipe along with some chocolate chip cookies. So without any delay, let's get started. So for two of the recipes I'm making today, I need some cooked chicken breast. So I am using these beautiful chicken breasts that I got from Good Chop. They are sponsoring today's video, so thank you to them. I've been working with them for a while now here on my channel, and they are the best place to get high quality meat and seafood delivered right to your door. And who can't use some help, especially now that the busy holiday season is coming up? In case you need a refresher, here's why Good Chop is freaking amazing. They offer easy access to high quality products. It's super convenient and contact-free delivery comes right to your doorstep. Their boxes are also fully customizable, meaning you can actually choose what cuts of meat, poultry, and seafood that you want in your box, so you can switch it up every time. It's super easy to do on their website. There's also something for everyone. You can actually choose from over 60 high quality cuts. They have ribeyes, T-bones, wild caught salmon, they have chicken breasts, pork tenderloin, filet, bacon. Their bacon is so delicious. If you guys try one thing from them, highly recommend the bacon. The bacon and the steaks are my absolute favorite. All of their products are sourced right from the United States of America, and by choosing Good Chop, you can actually help support local family farms and independent ranchers right here in the US. They pride themselves on sourcing beef that comes with no antibiotics or added hormones ever, and they have a 100% money back guarantee, so you can buy risk-free. Like I said, I have been loving this steak, and recently I made these garlic butter steak bites. I basically took their strip steak and I cubed it up. I cooked it in a skillet with some seasoning, some minced garlic, and some butter. We had that over mashed potatoes. It was like the most delicious dinner I've made in a long time. And Adam was like, you know, I normally don't like when you cube steak and cook it, but this is really good. Everyone really enjoyed it. And I've also been loving getting their seafood. Their salmon is really good. I've gotten some of their scallops, their crab cakes, just tons of awesome stuff to choose from on their website. So my sister watches all my videos, and she actually texted me about the price and did I think it was worth it and comparable to what you can get at the grocery store. Well, if you use my coupon code, it's going to give you $120 off across your first 4 boxes. And I actually priced that with what I ordered from Good Chop versus a popular local grocery chain, and it was actually it was pretty much the same price. So I wasn't spending any more by getting Good Chop, and I didn't even have to go to the store and pick all this stuff out. It came right to my porch. So if you guys want to get some awesome high quality meat and seafood delivered right to your door, I highly recommend Good Chop. Like I said, especially coming up to this busy holiday season, you're gonna need all the help you can get getting dinner on the table. You're not gonna wanna spend money eating out because you're gonna need that money for Christmas presents. So if you guys wanna get $120 off across your first 4 boxes of Good Chop, you can go to the link in my description box below. It's goodchop.com/YouTube, and you can use code JenChapin120 to get $120 off across your first 4 boxes today. This is honestly an awesome sale, and you are gonna get the best quality meat and seafood that you can get, and you don't even have to go anywhere. Highly recommend Good Chop. Once again, it's goodchop.com/YouTube. Use code JenChapin120 to get that $120 off across your first 4 boxes. So I'm just seasoning these very simply on both sides with some salt and pepper and a little bit of garlic powder. I'm gonna also go ahead and preheat my skillet that I've got here with just a little bit of avocado oil in it. We're gonna use part of this chicken for the chicken salad sandwiches and then part of it for the Thai chicken salad. So I'm gonna go ahead and sear this chicken on the stovetop and then transfer it to the oven to finish cooking. So for the Thai chicken salad, I need to make this Thai chili vinaigrette. I've got a jar to shake it up in. I've got some rice vinegar. I'm also going to use some sweet chili sauce, some lime juice, and some salt. Okay, I'm gonna throw that in the fridge. So next up for the Thai chicken salad, we need to make the peanut sauce. So I've got 3 tablespoons of peanut butter in here. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of lime juice, 2 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of sweet chili sauce, 2 teaspoons of grated ginger. I'm just gonna grate it over the dressing or sauce here. I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. I'm gonna grate 1 clove of garlic. Okay, and then last is just a little bit of water, and then I'm gonna whisk this up. Okay, peanut sauce is done. I'm gonna pop that in the fridge. Okay, so we've got basically all of our ingredients prepped for the salad. So I've got my cilantro, romaine lettuce. This recipe calls for shelled edamame. I live in a very small town and my grocery store did not have that, so I'm just shelling it myself. We've got our peanut sauce, our Thai vinaigrette, carrots and peppers, and then also sliced almonds and wonton strips, and then my chicken is resting over there. Okay, so I actually meal prepped this Thai chicken salad, which is, honestly, it's a great salad to meal prep because most of the ingredients are pretty hearty. So if you guys haven't seen this, these salad bowls, they come with a metal bowl and then a tray on the top that you can kind of separate out some of the ingredients, and a dressing cup and a lid. So I'll link it down below. But basically, I'm gonna go ahead and toss all this together and we'll give it a taste. I've gotta say, this looks like identical to Panera's version, which I'm actually pretty sure they don't have on the menu anymore, at least in my area. They don't. I highly recommend this recipe. I also made one for Adam, and he's not even like a really, he's not that big on salads, especially like salads with chicken, but even he really liked it. So this is definitely going on the to make list again. Okay, so we are very excited to make the Napa almond chicken salad from Panera because you guys can let me know, but I don't eat there super often because I don't have a Panera where I live. But when I was in college, we had a Panera that was not too far from our apartment. It was like almost right across the street. So a lot of times if I would go over there and study, I would get like the You Pick 2, and I would get the broccoli cheddar soup and the chicken salad sandwich. And it was pretty affordable back then. I feel like the prices have obviously raised, but I think that their chicken salad sandwich recipe has changed because the last several times that I have got it, it's just, I don't know, it's just not as creamy, it's not as flavorful. You guys let me know what you think. And I love a good chicken salad. So for this recipe, we need some toasted almonds. I just got these pre-sliced at the store. You can do it in the oven. I'm just gonna go ahead and toast them up in a pan here. And while the almonds are toasting, I am going to make the dressing for the chicken salad. So in here, I've got just some plain mayo, half a cup of that. I need 2 teaspoons of honey. Sorry if you can hear that, it's my ice maker. I'm gonna eyeball this. I also put honey in my chicken salad, or brown sugar. Just, it doesn't take a ton, but it helps kind of balance the sour of the lemon juice. And then 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. Okay, 1, 2. I normally don't, like when I make chicken salad, I normally don't really measure anything, but since I'm trying this Copycat recipe, I wanna make sure that I get everything right so I can kind of judge whether I would recommend the recipe to you guys or not. 4 teaspoons of lemon juice. And then for the spices, I just went ahead and measured these all out in a little bowl. So I've got mustard powder, onion powder, dried rosemary, salt, basil, and pepper, which I thought was an interesting combo. I personally always like to combine the dressing ingredients together before I add like the chicken and the grapes and the celery and things like that, just because I want to make sure that I can get everything combined and all the seasonings will distribute evenly. Always also keep a close eye when you're toasting nuts because they can go from toasted to burnt very quickly. Okay, so this is the chicken breast I cooked. I believe this came out to about 3 chicken breasts. The recipe called for, I believe, like a heaping 2 cup of cooked chicken breast. So I went ahead and sliced this up, and it's just been in the refrigerator. And then it also calls for grapes and celery, which I also already chopped up. So this is 1/3 cup of sliced red grapes and about 1/4 cup of celery. All right, and then here's my toasted almonds. I'm gonna go ahead and add those in, and that is it. I'm just gonna stir this up, make sure everything's combined, stick it in the fridge for a couple hours, and then we will do a taste test to see how close we got. Okay, so chicken salad sandwich. This is the bread that I'm using. It's the Pepperidge Farm Hearty White. I tried to get sourdough, but they were out, so this will be just fine. Here is our chicken salad after I refrigerated it. I'm making it just like Panera does on white bread with some tomatoes and some, you can use lettuce or spring mix. Okay, let's try the sandwich. All right, that's pretty darn close. I actually might be better than Panera's because it's not so dry. I would definitely make that again. I think I would add a little bit more sweetness to it, like maybe a little bit more honey, but it's pretty dang good. I'm excited to have that for lunch this week. Okay, so we're gonna make the mac and cheese. So you wanna put you just pour all the pasta. We have 1 pound of, yep, we have 1 pound of shell pasta. You could also use elbow noodles if you want to. Okay, and then go ahead and put like 3 spoonfuls of salt in there. It doesn't have to be exact. We're just seasoning the water.
Just like that?
Yep.
It looked like it immediately disintegrated.
It probably did. The water's hot. Okay, and then you can grab a wooden spoon and stir it a little bit just so it doesn't stick together. And then you can set the timer for 10 minutes. Yep, so for the sauce for the mac and cheese, we've got some butter in here. And we're gonna make a white sauce or a roux.
Oh,
I guess we're gonna make a roux first. Okay, so go ahead and put the flour in there. Yep. And then go ahead and grab a whisk. Yep. And then go ahead and stir it around until it's all combined. All right, so we need to add 1 cup of milk.
All of it?
Yep, pour it in slow. There you go. Okay, and then we're gonna pour in 2 cups of cream. So you can pour this whole container in.
Slowly?
Yep. Okay, we need 1 teaspoon of salt. So that's a 1/2 teaspoon. So go ahead and put 2 of those in. And we need 1 teaspoon of mustard powder.
Also 2 of these?
Yep.
What is, mustard?
Kind of enhances the cheese flavor a little bit. You don't really taste, it doesn't really taste like mustard. No, it kind of brings out the cheese flavor. Okay, and then you can whisk that. And then you can go ahead and put some pepper in. Turn it over and it'll automatically grind. Just literally tip it over on its end.
Oh. I don't even stop.
That's good.
I was like, what?
So this recipe calls for freshly grated white cheddar cheese. My Walmart actually doesn't carry blocks of white cheddar cheese, so I just always buy this sliced kind and then I grate it myself in the food processor and it works out great. Okay, so you want to go ahead and put the cheese in?
All of it?
Yep.
Is that good?
Yep. And then go ahead and whisk it up. Turn it on a little bit. What are you doing? Cheese pull?
But look how creamy it is. It's
Yeah.
like, and it smells so good. You guys should be here right now. It smells so good. My mom makes the best dinner.
No. All right, Connor's gonna pour the cheese sauce.
So how do I pour it? Oh, it's hot.
Here, you wanna? How about I pour and you stir? You wanna do that?
Can I hold the camera?
Sure.
Ooh.
I'm gonna get all that out of there.
Guys, this is the bomb.
The bomb. Okay, go ahead and stir it up. Watch what you're doing. You don't need to watch the camera. Okay. Now we just need to let it sit for a little bit so that the pasta can soak up some of the cheese. Okay, 100%. You guys gotta make this white cheddar mac and cheese. Panera Copycat. Oh my god. so freaking good. Okay, so this mac and cheese turned out so good. You guys definitely have to try this recipe if you like Panera's mac and cheese. I'll link all of the original recipes that I followed down below. Okay, so I am going to make some of the Panera egg souffle copycats, and Connor's helping me. So I'm actually really excited to try this recipe because I really love getting them at the restaurant. So I'm kind of anxious to see how close they are to the real thing. So you got some eggs. Okay, so go ahead and put the eggs in here. In this bowl, I just have some white sauce that I made on the stove and cooled. So it's 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour. Yeah, and then you cook that together and then add 1 cup of milk, some salt and pepper, and then I just let it cool, obviously, so I wouldn't scramble the eggs. Yep, okay, and then we need half a cup of cottage cheese. So, yep, just leave the whisk in there. There's a half a cup right there.
So like there?
Yep.
Now put some cheese.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and whisk that up. And then you can go ahead and add the cheese if you want. So
all of it?
Yeah, so I grated up some Havarti, some Monterey, no, just leave the whisk in there. There you go. Some Havarti, some Monterey Jack, and some Parmesan. The original recipe called for Manchego, but my Walmart didn't have that, so it said you could substitute Colby or Havarti.
A lot of cheese.
The recipe doesn't call for bacon, but I'm gonna add some bacon to the top of them when I cook them. Okay, so this is puff pastry, and I went ahead and thawed this in the refrigerator overnight. So we need to cut this into 6 pieces. You want to grab a pizza cutter? So go ahead and cut along those lines first.
Like that?
Yep.
Uh-oh.
And then if you want to cut it into 6 pieces, where else are we going to cut? There you go. Good job. 1 of these into each of those. So kind of push it on the bottom. You might have to like stretch it out just a little bit. 1 in each one? Yeah. Stretch it out like more into a square. Okay, you want to put the ramekins here on this. Actually, let me put some parchment paper on. Like this? Yep.
You're gonna have to put that in the oven. You can't trust me.
I can't trust me. All right, so I'm gonna put some of the egg mixture into each of these. And then do you want to go ahead and sprinkle the bacon on top? Okay, now it says to put them in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes at 425. So let me put them in first and then you can set the timer. You can try one?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so here are my egg souffles. They look delicious. I've got one here. We're gonna try it, see if it compares. Okay, so I want to give you my feedback on this egg souffle recipe. I think the filling, like the egg filling part, is super close to what Panera has. I don't quite think the combination of cheeses is right, so if I made this again, I would definitely look to see what they use and try to replicate that. The puff pastry also, if I made this again, I would definitely brush the puff pastry with butter because I think it is a little bit dry, especially like on the edges. And if I could find like a higher quality brand of puff pastry, I might try using that as well, although it would probably be difficult to find where I live just because I don't think that it's a perfect replica of the recipe. But do I think that it's very close? Yes. I would like to try doing a spinach artichoke one because that, I believe Panera still has that one and it's actually really good. All right, so we are making Panera Copycat chocolate chip cookies. I haven't had one of their cookies in a long time, but from what I remember, they're like the chewy type of cookie, and for that we need melted butter. So I've got 1 stick of butter in here that I just cubed up. I'm actually going to melt this in the microwave, and the recipe says to melt it until it gets very hot. So it specifically says not to use a mixer for this recipe, which I find super interesting. So I've got my brown sugar, white sugar. I'm going to add my very hot melted butter, it says. Mix that together. All right, next we're going to add the egg. I'm going to try to whisk that in quickly because I don't want it to scramble. We have some vanilla. I never measure my vanilla, do you guys? Okay, I've got 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, and then we need 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. Okay, so these are the chocolate chunks that I'm using. They're just the Nestle Toll House. And what I've done is I have chopped about half of them and left half of them whole as the recipe directs. I'm gonna stir these in, and then we're gonna let this dough sit for a couple minutes just to make sure it's not so sticky. And then I will get my baking sheet ready. All right, so it says to use 3 tablespoon scoops, which I haven't measured this, but I feel like this is about 3 tablespoons. So conveniently, we're gonna use that. And what you're supposed to do is put them out on the baking sheet, but then you don't want them round on top, so we're gonna flatten them a little bit before we bake them in the oven. That way they're not as like cakey and a little bit more chewy. This does not make a huge batch of cookies, so I would probably, if I wanted to make a regular, like normal size batch of chocolate chip cookies, I would probably double this. Okay, so I didn't think this was gonna make 12 cookies, but it looks like it's going to. It says kind of to flatten them into like a little disc. This one needs a chunk on the top. Okay, I've got my oven set to 350. I'm gonna pop these in there for about 10 minutes. Look how perfect these cookies turned out. I'm just putting them on a cooling rack. 10 minutes was perfect. All right, so we sampled a couple of the cookies. Definitely really good. I would say they are obviously a little bit thicker and larger than the traditional chocolate chip cookies I make, so definitely recommend this recipe. I feel like they could be a little bit chewier, but maybe I didn't melt the butter quite hot enough. Okay, so just a reminder not to miss out on this awesome deal that Good Chop is offering. You can use my link and coupon code down below to get $120 off across your first 4 boxes. And let me know out of these Panera recipes which ones you guys want to try, or I would also love to know what copycat video you want me to make next. If you want more copycat recipes, you can click on this video right here.